spent money promoting a song that slandered his name. Right? Okay. Kendrick's a universal artist under the umbrella. You're a universal artist. The same entity spent money promoting your song, saying Kendrick's son is, saying Kendrick's best friend and his manager having sex with his wife. They spent money promoting your song as well. The people just catered to Kendrick's song. They thought it was a better song. Both artists reap the benefits of the marketing and the promotion.
The moment Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, the entire energy in the rap game shifted, and not in a small way. Wack 100, always one to spill the raw truth, came forward and laid out the real story. According to him, Drake didn't just take an L in music, he got a serious warning behind closed doors. Where it is, some heavy hitters from LA with deep connections to the Piru Bloods stepped in and told Drake, "You crossed the line with Kendrick, and that line ain't for play." And just like that, the chest puffing stopped. No more sneak disses, no more IG shots, no more subliminals. Suddenly, one of the most calculating minds in hip-hop, Drake, put the brakes on hard. Why? Because what started as a lyrical war turned into something way deeper, something rooted in street politics and generational respect. Kendrick wasn't out there alone. Nah, he had people behind him, real people, real ties. And Wack 100, he didn't stutter. He made it crystal clear this wasn't just rap beef. This was life outside the booth. Now here's where it gets really wild. According to Wack, the message Drake received wasn't just about rap etiquette. It was a serious heads up. Kendrick isn't just from Compton. He's from the Piru section of Compton. That might not mean much to casual fans, but in LA, that's everything. And while Kendrick has never thrown up a set or claimed the street life publicly, the streets still claim him. He grew up in it. They watched him rise. And that type of bloodline respect, it runs deep, deeper than any bar on Wax. So is Kendrick out here wilding like some gang boss? Not even close. But you better believe, if something goes left, they're riding for him. Period. In his Vlad TV interview, Wack dropped gem after gem, pulling back the curtain on Kendrick's roots and how respected he is on the West. He said Kendrick doesn't need to make a phone call, doesn't need to roll deep with bodyguards, because he's already protected, 24/7, on site. That's where everything flipped. That's why Drake suddenly looked like he was playing chess with one piece missing. Kendrick didn't have to say a word. The streets said it for him.
Dollars of UMG. So because you didn't come out on top, you're crying about it. The same machine that made you, that grew you, Republic, is under UMG. Cash Money, Young Money's under Republic.
Drake kept talking about the red button.
You can't say UMG did it. Maybe Kendrick's team was a stronger team. Now, you said shit about Meek Mills. Meek didn't go foul. He lost.
So when Kendrick lit the match with Not Like Us, he didn't even have to ask. The Piru and Compton sets lit the fire all on their own. No invitations, no arrangements, just pure loyalty. And suddenly the tone changed. This wasn't just rap beef anymore. This was respect. This was personal. See, when you've actually grown up in those neighborhoods, when you've walked through those blocks every day and stayed solid all the way through, people don't forget that. They don't let outsiders play games with your name. They stand up, period. Wack broke it all the way down. Kendrick may move like a quiet, low-key dude, but in the streets of Compton, he's protected like a commander-in-chief. And once the word Piru started getting attached to this feud, Drake's whole energy collapsed. Think about it. Before this, Drake was loud. He was out here throwing darts in tracks, flexing in captions, tossing shade on IG like he was untouchable. But the second Kendrick dropped that lethal track and the street whisper started getting louder, Drake went silent. And fans noticed. Oh, they noticed. One moment Drake was trying to little boy Kendrick, and the next he was yanking tracks off streaming platforms while Not Like Us climbed the charts untouched. No response, no retaliation, just radio silence. This is the same Drake who's famous for turning rap beef into branding opportunities, who usually leans into drama and thrives off it. So the question now is, what exactly was said to him behind closed doors that made him tap out? What kind of conversation or warning can humble someone like Drake, someone who rarely bows to pressure? And let's talk about it. Why are the streets going so hard for Kendrick Lamar, a man who's never once claimed a set, who's never tried to look tough on camera? Because this isn't about clout. It's not about who's got more hits or who looks harder on Instagram. It's about something money can't buy. Legacy, loyalty, roots. Wack 100 spelled it out plain. Kendrick is deeply respected in a way that Drake simply isn't. And that difference, that's why Drake backed off. That's why the beef went silent. Because this battle, it spilled out of the booth and into a world where bars don't matter. Respect does.
Part about it is Kendrick really grew up in a rough neighborhood. Yeah. Protective neighborhood, but a rough.
Kendrick wasn't just born in Compton. He was molded by it. We're talking deep in the West Side Piru territory, right in the heart of the Tams neighborhood. That's not just a pin on a map. It's a whole way of life. That foundation, it hits harder than any #1 single ever could. From the jump, Kendrick was surrounded by energy most people can't even fathom. He didn't have to bang, he didn't have to throw signs, but best believe he soaked in every ounce of that code. The discipline, the loyalty, the silence, the survival instinct. It shaped him. Not into a gangster, but into something even more dangerous. A real one with a lion's heart and a poet's pen. Let's be real. If you've ever heard Mod City or The Art of Peer Pressure, then you already know Kendrick's walked with wolves and came out a lion. His stories don't come from imagination, they come from experience. And out there in Compton, your name ain't built on how many followers you got or how loud you talk. It's built on how you move. Kendrick never had to fake it. He never chased street cred. He just moved respectfully. And the OGs, the ones who sit in silence but run everything behind the scenes, they noticed, they watched, and they showed love, real love. So when Drake started playing with fire, the streets didn't need no memo. They didn't wait on a call. They stood up like, nah, we got Kenny, fall back. That ain't just rap loyalty. That's legacy. That's Compton showing up for his own. And don't get it twisted. Kendrick's not rolling solo. His crew, TDE, isn't some industry gimmick. It's a certified family with real street roots. This ain't Hollywood. This is survival. J-Rock, he's locked in with the Bounty Hunter Bloods. He's not new to this. He's true to this. Top Dog, the man behind TDE, he didn't come up in a boardroom. He came out the mud and built that empire brick by brick. These aren't just dudes with microphones. These are men with respect that echoes beyond the studio walls. So let's make one thing clear. Kendrick's not just protected by fans or hype. He's protected by something deeper, something real.
Nobody telling you to be from the hood, but they see something in him, so they love him like they love their homies. That's Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? He grew up in Westside Parkwood. That's the biggest Parkwood we have out here.
Kendrick's circle isn't built on hype or nostalgia. It's built on respect earned in silence. His people, they're solid to the core. Not because they scream the loudest, but because they've proven themselves time and time again. So when Drake tried to turn the rap game into a war zone, swinging shots left and right like he was invincible, Kendrick, he didn't blink. No backup calls, no rented muscle, no Instagram rants, just silence. And then the streets spoke for him. That's the thing. Kendrick never had to throw money around to be protected. He never had to beg for love. The city moved for him because he's always moved for the city. No fake gangster masks, no industry bravado, just realness. He gave the world pain. He gave them pride. He gave them poetry with soul. And with that kind of raw energy, the kind that touches your bones, comes a loyalty you can't fake. So now let's ask the question that's been sitting heavy. Why did Drake even take that gamble? Why poke a lion in his own jungle? Something don't add up. Or maybe Drake didn't really understand who he was messing with. Let's talk about the image he's been trying to sell, the one dripping with mob ties and street mystique. From flashing OVO muscle to walking with YG to rubbing shoulders with names like J. Prince, Drake's crafted this narrative like a man building an empire. J. Prince, the Southern Kingpin, walks into any room with respect earned in decades. His cosign is heavy. YG? That's a man with deep blood ties in LA, real weight, real reputation. Drake doesn't throw hands. He doesn't have to. He wants people to believe he has soldiers on speed dial, ready to step for him at any moment. He's been polishing this boss persona for years. Dudes online even call him father, claiming they ride for him, fear him, respect him, not because of fists, but because of the power he supposedly holds. But let's keep it real. Some of that power is starting to look flimsy.
Pound on the kid. His bodyguard did nothing. Don't touch me.
Let's move on to a lessy little chapter some folks like to forget. DRAM, remember him? He dropped that smooth bop cha-cha. It was bubbling, it was original, it was fresh. Then suddenly, boom, Drake swoops in, drops Hotline Bling, and flips the whole thing. Originally, it was literally called Cha-Cha Remix. He took the wave, dropped the name, and pushed it as his own. At first, DRAM tried to play it cool, but eventually, he said it flat out. He felt played, straight up robbed. So fast forward to Coachella. DRAM pulls up, tries to confront Drake man to man. But before anything could pop off, Drake's bodyguards swarmed him. They handled it. Drake, he stood back, didn't raise a finger. That's the playbook. Stay squeaky clean while your team gets their hands dirty. It's smart, sure, but gangster, not even close. And that's not the only shaky moment. Let's not forget the rumors swirling for years. T.I.'s crew allegedly peeing on Drake at a theater. Diddy supposedly slapping him backstage while Jay-Z had to step in and cool things down. For any other rapper, moments like that would be career-ending memes. But Drake, somehow, he skated by untouched. Untouched by smoke, untouched by shame. But now, the dirt's catching up. Let's talk about his ties to Ian Connor. That name alone raised eyebrows. Connor, a fashion tastemaker, yes, but also surrounded by disturbing allegations that made people side-eye Drake's inner circle. Ian was the one who linked Drake to Playboy Cardi, helped pull together Pain 1993. Drake showed love, name-dropped him, partied with him, threw stacks in a strip club. It was all good, until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, Ian publicly blocked Drake, didn't hold back. Then boom, OVO enforcer Chubb slid into the comments and went off. Called Ian a little boy, claimed he got checked by the OVO goons. This wasn't just smoke, it was drama, live, and messy. Oh, and Ian was featured in the Rich Flex video with 21 Savage. So if there's beef now, it's fresh, it's hot, and it's real. All this just adds another layer to Drake's already complicated image. He's rubbing shoulders with controversial figures, dodging past beefs, leaning on a reputation that's looking shakier every day. And when things go sideways, the clean image starts to crack.
Drake is going to jail, bro. I don't know if y'all heard about this top 5 situation, bro, but this is exactly what Wack 100 warned Drake about. Check this out.
It's been in existence about 90 days. And I had made sure she hasn't went anywhere. Personally. I think you know what I'm talking about. That dude with his mouth and the things he says does not. It does not support your career or you come.
Telling you, this was weeks ago and Drake did not.
He lets the muscle do the talking, plain and simple. At the end of the day, Drake's so-called street persona, it's starting to feel less like authenticity and more like a high-budget cosplay. He talks that tough talk, throws around gang lingo like props in a music video, surrounds himself with certified names to boost the image. But when things get really real, when Kendrick starts peeling back the layers on that facade, or when Compton politics, especially from the Piru side, start bubbling up, Drake doesn't step in, he steps back. And that, right there, is what Kendrick was cooking in this whole battle. The real difference between borrowing a culture for clout and being raised in it. Drake might know the slang. Sure, he might mimic the moves. But Kendrick? He walks through neighborhoods where respect isn't bought with a cosign or a dollar. It's earned through silence, consistency, and legacy. Let's be real for a second. Drake probably thought this was just another lyrical flex, a sparring match he could meme into marketing gold. But once Kendrick ripped off that mask and exposed the cosplay gangster act for what it really was, Drake's whole energy flipped. The guy who barked about mob ties, bragged about having shooters on call, gone. Just like that, the bravado faded. No more red flag talk, no more lyrical jabs. What came next was silence. Polished PR statements, carefully curated vibes, a whole lot of cleanup. Then came the whispers. Rumors started floating through LA, quiet but loud if you were paying attention. Some blocks, especially on that Piru side, weren't too pleased. And if you've been watching closely, you saw the shift. Drake didn't just ease up, he slammed the brakes hard. Reality hit different. Because Kendrick isn't just some rapper repping Compton for aesthetics. He's protected. Going at him recklessly in that environment, that's not bold, it's foolish. It's stepping into a minefield without a map. And here's where things get really twisted. Why did Drake even roll the dice like that? Was it ego? Overconfidence from years of winning battles on his terms? Or did he genuinely underestimate Kendrick and the machine quietly behind him? What Drake didn't seem to grasp was that this wasn't just Kendrick Lamar on the other end of a diss. This was a city, a legacy, a code. He wasn't just battling bars, he was stepping into a war zone where history remembers everything. So while Drake spent weeks firing off slick lines, tweaking lyrics live on stage, turning Instagram into a digital boxing ring, Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, hijacked the Super Bowl spotlight, and got crowned the people's champ by the streets themselves. And Drake? He vanished from the ring. No more jabs, no more IG captions dripping with subliminals. Instead of clapping back, he popped up on his album with a soft retreat. Forget rap beef, I'm trying to get the party lit on. What? That wasn't a comeback, that was a white flag. His socials went straight back to beach mode, exotic trips, club scenes, designer fits, carefully curated stillness. Not a word about Kendrick. Not a single bar addressing the lyrical massacre that had the rap world frozen. But here's the wildest plot twist of it all. Drake let Not Like Us go nuclear. He didn't clap back. He didn't even freestyle on a live stream. Nothing. And we're talking about the Drake, the same guy who went full war mode on Meek Mill, fired lyrical missiles at Pusha T, and even took wild swings at Joe Budden. But this time, Kendrick dropped the diss live at the Super Bowl in front of 130 million people, and Drake just sat there, silent. He didn't flinch. He didn't respond. Why? Was this the moment he realized this wasn't a fight he could win? Or did someone behind the scenes pull him aside and say, "You're in LA now, things are different here"? Because when you start poking at Compton legends, it stops being music, it becomes politics, it becomes power. And once those West Coast OGs start circling around you, you've only got two choices: respect the code or get erased. That moment when the streets, especially from the Piru side, stood up behind Kendrick, that wasn't just hometown pride. That was a statement, a move. When the street politics of Compton and surrounding blocks latch on to a rap beef, it's no longer about who has the wittiest bars. It's about who can survive the repercussions. On the surface, it still looks like music drama. But if you know the game, then you know. When certain sets put their weight behind someone, it's not just about support. It's a warning. They're saying, he's one of ours. Cross the line, and you're crossing us. And that hits different. OGs on the West remember the 90s. The East versus West beef didn't stay on wax. People paid with their lives. Even now, the smallest misstep, a diss, a club slight, a reckless lyric can spiral quick. Wack 100's been sounding the alarm. Even Jay Prince, a man who's seen it all, knows when it's time to step back and respect what the West is built on. Because this ain't just music, it's survival. Drake's been around street dudes for years, no doubt. But there's a major difference between being near the fire and being forged in it. And when that beef with Kendrick turned from bars to block talk, that's when Drake realized this ain't Toronto. This is Compton. And one wrong lyric here can get messy fast. OGs out west have seen what happens when mic battles go too far. That's why they step in, not to start chaos, but to stop it, before it crosses a line that can't be uncrossed. Because once a line gets drawn out loud in front of the world, there's no taking it back, not even if you're the biggest name in rap. So now, Drake's hit pause, but Kendrick, he's still outside, still got the streets behind him, still turning diss records into anthems. If this chapter's done for Drake, the bigger question now is what's Kendrick planning next? Because he didn't just win this round, he flipped the whole damn script. While Drake relied on subliminals, dodged direct smoke, and kept it flashy, Kendrick played the long game. No antics, no messy lives, just precision, execution. And here's the kicker. He didn't even mention the streets. They spoke for him. His city, his legends, the real ones. All stepping forward to say, he's good, he's certified. Now flip that around. Drake tried to play the street card, talked mob ties, flexed tough guy energy. But the moment the real one spoke up, that tough guy disappeared. No more diss tracks, no more viral stunts. The energy flipped straight back to brand deals, yacht flicks, and polished captions. And the silence? It was deafening. Drake didn't need to say a word. His absence said everything. And if the whispers are true, if that video of Drake allegedly getting checked by Piru OGs ever sees daylight, that might explain it all. That could be the moment he realized this ain't entertainment, this is real. Because the guys riding for Kendrick, they don't do Twitter fingers. They move in silence. They move with purpose. And they don't play. So here's the real. Did Drake finally get humbled? Because this whole saga, it might just be the first time Drake got hit with a reality check in a rap war. He's used to being the smartest guy in the room, the slick talker, the punchline king, the one who always has the last word. But Kendrick wasn't just lyrical, he was legit. Let's break down the fallout. Drake's no stranger to beef, but this time it wasn't about streaming numbers, it was about credibility. And when that pressure comes from someone who's got respect from both the game and the streets, that's a weight you can't sidestep. Drake probably realized early, this ain't worth it, especially not when the OGs start circling. But don't count him out just yet. Drake's a rebrand genius. Don't be surprised if he flips this L into a brand new version of himself. More mature, more peaceful, more above the drama. Healing vibes, introspective verses, grown man Drake. That's probably the pivot. But no matter what he drops next, the culture's watching. This moment, it left a mark. Meanwhile, Kendrick didn't just walk away with the W. He walked off with the crown. Not because he spit harder, but because he reminded everyone respect isn't a post. It's a lifestyle. He's not pretending to be street. He's respected by the streets. And that kind of love, you can't fake that. You can't flex it. And you definitely can't buy it. The power shift? It's loud and clear now. Drake's still a giant, no doubt. But Kendrick? He's the one they fear, the one they follow, the one who doesn't need to yell to shake the entire room. And at the end of the day, Drake didn't get canceled, but he did get checked. Now the line is bold between an industry gangster and a certified legend.